Hi everyone, welcome back. This is going to be very fun. This is Freaky Friday, but it's going to be a continuation. I'm going to try to do segments because it's going to take me a while to get this done. So the first thing is we're making a junk journal. Yes, we are. I'm going to use this box. I thought the first one I could do would be simple and easy for me versus trying to do a lot of extra stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is, I love chicken and a biscuit. Do y'all like that? It's a little bit salty, but I like it. And you know, when they say low sodium, it just tastes not the same. So I'm going to open this up. So after I did research and thought about it, talked about it, asked about it, you know, I just decided to go ahead and get it done. Now this is the crazy, funny, interesting piece. In my head, I was like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do for the signatures because I'm going to use some ugly paper, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, wait, how do I do a book? How do I do a cover? So that's where we are. So I'm going to go ahead and cut down all these things. It's going to be an 8.5 by 11 setup. So basically, it's going to go in here. And I think that because I'm nervous, right? I don't think I need to cut anything off of the book except besides just maybe some corners, but I think the height of the book is going to be great, and I do think I may reinforce the spine, but we will see. Okay, so here we are. So far I just cut off the flaps of it, and then I cut this down to 6.5. Is it 6.5, Brandy? Let's see. I think it's 6.5. Yep, roughly 6.5. So I cut that down. I used my Fiskars trimmer. I did try to use this at first, but I was just like, you don't have it right, the right setup. And I used this. I tried to use that, but it didn't work out. Okay, so I purchased this from Ross a couple of months ago. I think in January, maybe January, February. I don't know why I'm showing you this. Maybe they have a search. I don't know. But this is the number from Die Cuts with a View, and then you can just go onto the website. I thought this would be cool to use. Okay, so I cut the paper down just one pass with the scissors, and now I'm just going to fold it over. I haven't glued anything or anything like that. And you're probably thinking, why did I choose this paper? I mean, have you seen the ugly paper? It's wacky. So I feel like these butterflies and what I plan on doing on the inside will kind of bring it all together. I have so much stuff going on my desk that I feel like I need for this project. But, you know, hindsight, looking back, I think I may have bitten off more than I can chew in one setting. And I probably need to be in a different work setting, a different workspace. So now what I'm doing, I'm just eyeballing it first, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it down with some Liquitex. I saw this lady do this. I also saw someone say don't use water-based glue, to use like fabric glue or whatever, because it doesn't warp your paper. But I think with as thick as this Die Cuts with a View paper is, will be fine. And how I'm looking at doing this is just folding this over, and I'm going to cut the corners off. But for the most part, I think that I'm going to do it just the same way I did when I was in school and we made book covers. You know, the first day of school you get book covers, or the second day of school whenever you get books, and it was just so magical. I'm going to do it just like that, and then I'm going to figure out what I want to do to the inside. I think I may do, I have some crazy fabric that I can do on the inside as well, to cover up any of my poor cutting. Hopefully you all are intrigued by this endeavor. And now I'm just going to turn it over and see right here, these gussets. I'm going to really rub down really hard with my hand, and then this bone folder, so I'll know what's going on. I feel like this paper may tear a little bit. I mean, it is supposed to be like for wrapping paper and gift bags, but this is really thick paper. So I think that's what we're going to do first. And let's go ahead and glue it down. So I'm going to do the... It's funny how this has turned into the back side of it. Even though this is the front of the box, it's just how it was. So like I did, you see these lines right here barely, and then the fold over. So what I would recommend, if I can give any recommendations, is to make sure that you, when you cut your little flaps right here, make sure that you cut it or measure it out really well. Because when you get ready to fold this piece right here up, you want your corners to be covered. And mine slid down because I am, you know, this is my first time ever doing it like this. When I did the flow book, I was less nervous than I am right now. All right, so I glued it down and I'm just rubbing it in. I'm going to take my bone folder if I can find it. I tried to find my little scrape tool because I felt like that would be much more successful than this little bone folder. But you know, use what you have on hand. I could have went downstairs and got, I guess, a butter knife out the kitchen, but you know, I was just like, do it. I feel like the more I think about it, the more I hesitate, the more I don't want to do it. Like I was thinking to myself the other day, I was like, you know what? You don't have to do a junk journal. But it's one of those things that I need to just say that I've done, and then if I don't like it, I can move on. You know, I've tried other things, like I did watercoloring, and I actually enjoyed it. Do I think I'm going to be doing a lot of watercoloring? Probably not. But I did enjoy it. All right, so we got that glued down. Thank the goodness. And so what I'm doing, I'm not gluing the paper. I'm gluing right onto the chipboard. And this is a very inexpensive way to get chipboard versus buying... I mean, you already dried, versus buying it, you know, from the store, because you probably have some kind of box, and this is a good way to recycle, right? They sell Captain Crunch cereal at the Dollar Tree, and so I used to always get those when I lived in Mississippi because I didn't know how much I liked Captain Crunch until I actually started buying it. But I have a lot of these. We have a lot of box things, and I was just thinking about that too. I was like, Brandy, you need to, because you know it's a lot of preservatives in all these things, but I'm thinking I need to just start doing a little bit more natural living versus a lot of preservatives and a lot of pre-packaged things. You know, be a little bit more health conscious. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. All right, so that's glued down. And it is going to take a while to actually adhere and dry, but I'm okay with that. For now, I don't think I need to use anything to make it dry any faster. You know, I'm not really into speeding up things to make them dry right now. I'm quite sure I'll get into that habit later on. But most people, I find from watching videos, most people that do these, they probably already have something prefabricated on hand. Like they may have taken a book apart and they don't really need that. I watched this lady, she said, what did she say? She was like, you need a book? And then she cut the book in half. And I was like, is that? You know, everybody does it their own way. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I guess it is a wrong way to do it. It's to talk about it for 2 years and just not do it, right? That would be me. But here we are. Here we are. Here we are. We're getting this done. Again, this is going to be a few segments. So hopefully you all enjoy it. But I will hopefully take you along for every step, every hiccup. You know, at the end, if it doesn't come out right, you'll never see the footage. You'll probably see a completed project. Like yesterday I did last year I made a birthday present for someone. And the end result I didn't like, even though I videotaped it for like 3 or 4 days. Probably longer than that. And I invested so much time. I'm just, excuse the little squeaky sound. I am bending my folds in the book so that it bends and it doesn't tear. or warp the paper. I think the next time I do this, I may use 2 sheets because you can see through the paper. You can see where, I think it says family size right there. Can you see it? If not, I can. And maybe once it dries, it'll dry differently. So I guess I could have used something underneath there, a coat first, maybe. I was thinking I could paint it, but I was like, Brandy, really? Don't get extra your first go round. All right, so I have this cut, and I think what I want to do is fold this up right here first. So like fold this down first. Measuring is definitely a key proponent of anything. I can measure 1,000 times and I still end up cutting 3,000. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this down and come back once it's all adhered. Okay, so I figured maybe you want to see this, even though, you know, this is my first time. So I'm just gluing this down. And again, I don't think it's a right and a wrong way, but this paper is going to dry tight. And if it cracks, then that will be an issue that I'll have to deal with, you know, for future situations. But here we go. So now I'm just folding this over, and I am pulling it a little tight to make sure that it is adhering. And so then I'm rubbing this glue in. As you can see, it's seeping out, so I'm okay with that because I want all of this to be glued down very nicely. And then I'm just going to the middle portion, the spine right there. And now I'm turning it, and I'm going to do the other side. So, and then I'm rubbing this in. And if you get too much glue, you know, you can have whatever you use to clean up your seepage. I have a paper towel here. I usually have 1 or 2 of those on hand. I try not to use the baby wipes too much unless it's getting on my fingers or whatever. And so now here we are. And I did miter the corners, but you know, I didn't do it a great deal, a wonderful job. So now I'm just rubbing in these little bubbles, and these little bubbles are the air pockets that I may have created from folding it over so much, and where the glue kind of slid from one spot to the next and left a pocket. So now I'm just going to go back over and burnish this in really well. I want them to be one now. And I do have an idea for even though I'm putting this on the outside, I do have an idea for what I can do to not have it look so crazy. But I don't mind it looking a little bit odd. You know, when you create something the first time, you're kind of like, okay. I'm going to cut this off right here. I cut it wrong anyway. So, yeah. And now I'm going to cut this off, because I don't want all the excess paper. I don't want to have to worry about how I'm going to get these papers folded over. So now I'm going to do this right here. If I can find my glue. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I am being very giving of the glue, as well as paying close attention to where I'm actually putting the glue on. I hope that makes sense. So even though I'm giving it a lot on the paper, when I fold it over, I'm being mindful to wipe or smooth the glue this way, so you can see how I didn't put it all the way down to the very edge, but because I'm able to put this on like that, it's working out for us. And I still got this, even though I didn't want it. So I'm going to go ahead and snip this off really quickly before it dries. Alright. I'm going to do this once more. And all the time for me, when I'm doing this, just for my sanity and to make sure that I'm doing it right and I don't have a lot of flyaway, I mean, I'm continuously folding this to make sure that my spine is good to go. Again, I think that covering this is fairly simple if you went to school and you had books. And if you didn't go to school, maybe you have a book that you got from the library or the bookstore, and it has a book cover on there. So I, after I thought about it, I was like, Brandy, you're really being extra right now. It's not, it's not that serious. And it wasn't. It isn't. Not yet. The crazy, freaky part will come in a minute, I guess. But I'm going to do these in segments. So even though it's Freaky Friday, it's going to be called, I'm going to post them on every other Friday, and or in between the other things that freak me out, maybe. I'm going to cut this down some more. But this will be a segment within a segment, I guess. I hope that makes sense. So, because every other, Freaky Friday is every other Friday. And I'm going to cut this down a little bit more, as well as this little tab. Just applying glue and repeating. And there we have it. We have did our cover. So now I'm going to do the inside as well, so you'll see where I'm thinking for that. I purchased these scrap packs from Tuesday morning, I want to say in March. And so I have these, and you've seen me use them in other projects, and I want to use them on here. I think I want to use it on here. I'm not sure yet. I think I do. Because even though it has these butterflies on the outside, that's just the front. So I think I'm going to do some other stuff to it, like this little bubble's going to drive me crazy. So if you don't like the bubbling up, then definitely use, do a little bit more research on it. I guess I'm telling myself that too. So these are like air pockets, which is fine. No big deal. But it's going to just drive me crazy. Yep. So I'm thinking, I was thinking of putting this on the inside, but now I'm not too sure, because I don't think it is going to actually aesthetically make me happy. So I'm going to try something else. Okay, so I have this paper pad. It's a black and white paper pad, and it's 9 by 12. So what I did is I cut it in half, and I made it 9 by 6, and I'm going to glue it right to this very edge on here. So when it opens up, it'll have this wacky print on it. I think that's going to be very cool, because I plan on doing some stuff to this as well. And then why did I leave the spine covered? I don't know. I mean uncovered. I don't know. I'm going to put my signatures there. I think I'm going to try to do 3 signatures. I don't know what size yet, so we will see. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this up and show you when it's done. Okay, so what I did on the first one is I took my Elmer's glue and I ran it from the tip of one side of the paper to the tip of the other side of the paper, because I wanted the edge to be really, really, really adhered down. You see how quick it's drying? It dries so fast though, so I go so slow that I'm always nervous. So then I just come and bring it right to the edge. And glue, wet glue, it's a little bit more forgiving than tape. So now I have this on there, and all I'm doing, all right, glue, don't embarrass me, is I'm going to talking to this side over here, just in case you all are wondering. Gonna rub that down just like that, and I'm gonna go back on this right side and see what's going on over here. I thought I rubbed it all down, but I guess I was incorrect, and it started to bow a little bit. So if you get bowing and you know that you put a lot of glue down, that is one of the reasons why. You probably didn't rub it all the way out like you need to. And so now what I'm going to do, you see how it's already adhered. Now I'm going to take my wet glue and I'm going to put it on the cardboard this time. But I want to make sure that I get the corner, the top. And you see how I'm going, like, this is the edge. I'm going a little bit below the edge because what I want to do is I want to push the glue out so that it does grab the edge. And then I'm just going to squeeze out a lot over here, because we want everything to adhere down very nicely. All right, and so then I'm just going to smooth it down just like this with my hand first. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to just work it out, brush it out systematically like I did the other one. Just brush out, out, out. Then I come back and brush out, out, out. Same exact, the same exact thing that I did on the right side, I'm doing on the left side now. So I'll brush it out, 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 out. And you can do this as many times as you like until you feel comfortable that your edges are sealed, as well as you have no bubbles. So you can just run your hand over it, and you can also see it a little bit if it starts to bubble. Like I ran my hand over right here and it was a little bit bubbly. So I'm just going to take my bone folder and rub it again. Okay. So I'm going to call it quits on this round, and I'm going to come right back and start another one, but I want to call it quits now because we're at 21 minutes and I've covered the cover, and that's what I was nervous about doing. I'm not even sure why, because I like it. It looks great already. Yay. Even the inside, even though it's weird, it's like, oh, that's different. You know what I'm saying? I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have been thinking about it and you're wondering. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell. I post videos quite frequently. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.